We here at Hatred Industries greatly value the hatred that we've cultivated. It is simply beautiful what we've managed to achieve over these last few years. People being friends and getting along with each other? Where's the fun in that? This video is a direct sequel to one of my videos in my Potential Man series. That being, obviously, Toshiro Hitsugaya. Now that video was received relatively well. Thanks, by the way.
Very good.
However, I've seen a lot of comments under that video saying that Renji is way worse than Toshiro Hitsugaya. And to that, I'll have to say I 100% see where you are coming from. Renji's shittiness is completely undeniable.
Top of his head.
Even I, a scion of ignorance, cannot refute that. However, my reasoning as to why I think Toshiro is worse is because disappointment in someone you believed could do better is way worse than disappointment in someone who is, was, and will always be trash. But saying Renji is worse is absolutely not a dog shit opinion. If you were to say that in my face, I would not slap you in your face for being dumb. It's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to say that. And you know what? I think I'm doing y'all a big disservice by not talking about him. So let's do it. It's time for another deep dive, folks. Today we're gonna talk about the original disappointment, ABARAI Renji.
Tourer, the city like a horror. Shitty time is shorter. Talking my forcer. Sitting tight until sun hit me right in Mora. Pretty lights, so it's these bridges that I torched up. And gritty nights, dishing any feeling of decorum. Niggas dry, now we taking trips to find water. I'm living life, I might hit the strip with 5 quarters. Magician Mike said I got hypnotizing aura. The enterprise notice you can sympathize with war stuff. Bigger price, only take the hits you could afford, bruh. Touching high, torturing the split to hide the boredom. Niggas lie, orchestrate the clip.
Renji ABARAI. His story is truly interesting indeed. Bro went from rags to, well, slightly washed rags. Renji went from a poor ass peasant to going to Soul Reaper school, where his best friends were, oh boy, to make sure y'all never forget, Momo Hinamori has absolutely 0 wins. I'm honestly surprised she even managed to become a lieutenant afterwards. And of course, Kira, of which the only thing niggas remember him for is his Zanpakuto's ability and the fact that he somehow managed to beat up Kyoraku's leftovers in the newest arc of Bleach. And immediately after this, Izuru proceeds to have the most emo wardrobe change I've ever seen. Yes, Kira, we see the fit. Yes! And we, yes, you and me, are not impressed. Safe to say, these niggas ain't shit. And since Renji hangs out with them, the fact that he ain't shit as well follows suit. Remember the proverb, y'all. You are the company you keep. After Renji graduated, he low-key got passed around from the 5th division to the 11th division, all the way into being the lieutenant of the 6th division, of which the captain is Byakuya Akutsuki, which is low-key Renji's ob, as he snatched up his best friend, Ruki Akutsuki. But I'm not going to lie, Renji is low-key fake. We'll get into that later. The next chronological thing for Renji is his first fight against Ichigo. And right off the bat, loss. Renji's loss against Ichigo was truly embarrassing. And this fight is probably what dragged the lieutenant title through the mud. Like seriously, look at the lieutenants and tell me, do you view any of these niggas in a positive light? Hinamori, 0 wins. Speaks for itself. Tetsuzaimon, nigga, who the fuck are you? You don't do shit. We don't even know what your Zanpakuto is. And Isane, though she is bad as hell, also has 0 wins to her name, and is also one of the 3 lieutenants who lost to Soul Society Ichigo using his bare hands. Omaida is literally comic relief. Once again, speaks for itself. Nemu got sexually assaulted by her own dad.
You're a victim.
The now Issei has no Zanpakuto, the best asset a Soul Reaper could have. But I'm not gonna lie, she kinda breaks the mold here, as she arguably has the best battle resume of the entire lieutenant group. Because if we're being real, she's the one who beat Lily Baro. Yachiru also breaks the mold here, because technically she also beat up a Bleach German. But everyone else sucks, don't worry about that. Ain't no one takes lieutenants seriously, and when lieutenants do actually win fights, they're always against bums. The lieutenant disrespect all started with this singular fight. Now I know people will say that this is more of a victory for Ichigo, since he managed to pull through and defeat a lieutenant, which is true. I can't deny that. But I think this is infinitely worse for Renji. I want you to look at this in Renji's perspective. You graduated from Soul Reaper School, where you learned many things, such as the functionality of Ryatsu, knowledge of how Zanpakutos work, and more than likely advanced Soul Reaper martial arts. Not only that, you have decades of experience, to the point where you managed to even get a lieutenant position at a very good division, the captain of which is a part of a noble family. You have all of this knowledge, all of this experience, and to top it all off, you actually have a Zanpakuto, and a Shikai at that. Once you say your Zanpakuto's real name, you have a great well of power at your disposal. You are quite literally a part of the top % of Soul Reapers within the Soul Society. And you lose to Ichigo, a nigga with weeks of experience. Brother doesn't even know the name of the cloth he's wearing. Ichigo is like level 5 in his Soul Reaper journey, and Renji's like level 40. Not to mention he's also only doing the Soul Reaper job based off of basic karate and self-defense skills, which he learned from defending against his father's assault attempts every day. Yes, I am not making that up. And also, unlike Renji, this nigga does not even have a fully functioning Zanpakuto. Go Shikai and look at it. It's big as fuck, but not because he's strong as shit, but because Ichigo can't control his power. Nigga, yours will probably be bigger. And you still lost. I'm not gonna lie, if this news came out in the Soul Society, I would turn in my badge. Pathetic. Up next is the second fight against Ichigo when we're in the Soul Society, and Ichigo has just invaded and shit. And honestly, I'm not going to beat up Renji here too bad, because to be honest, he's kind of mentally waffling the fight in the first place due to his own inner turmoils with the situation and his best friend being in fucking prison and all that. Yeah, I'm not going to beat him up too bad. You know what? I lied. I am going to beat him up. Low-key, Renji is a bad friend. Rukia is not just your best friend. She is your day one. You literally came out from the mud together. But the minute she starts having a better life than yours, you start to distance yourself from her. But I suppose that kind of makes sense. I mean, that happens in real life, you know. One day a nigga wins the lottery and the next day he won't even let you within his general vicinity and call you a dirty, stinking peasant. You know what, Loki? They're both pretty bad friends. But you see, here's the thing. Strained friendship or not, why would you ever show up for a rest? like, bro, you should have been on your shonen side character shit on some. Yeah, there's no way Rukia would have done that. She's my Nakaba, and we're Nakabas for life. You know, that corny ass shit. No sane human being would ever have a shit-eating grin on his face after arresting his day one. And to make it even worse, the nigga attacks her. Like, come on, nigga, have some class. You expect me to believe that this nigga is her best friend? At least have some remorse, goddamn. And you know what's funny? Immediately after he arrests her, he starts asking around. Come to find out that basically everyone in the Seirete has questioned that order. Renji, you started playing Sherlock way too late. And you do absolutely nothing.
You stupid.
For multiple days as the execution date is coming up, until a random nigga with orange hair comes up and beats the shit out of you. Hot take, Ichigo was a way better friend to Rukia in a few weeks than Renji ever was in a few decades. And what makes it crazy to me is the fact that Rukia actually marries this man. Rukia could have done so much better. Rukia and Ichigo, Rukia and Aizen, hell, even Rukia and our Nero would have done way better than Rukia and Renji. To all of 5 females who watch my videos, would you still be with your significant other if, let's say, your purse was about to be stolen, but your significant other does absolutely nothing until they get their ass beaten senseless? I'm sorry to say, but ladies, that's not your nigga. That nigga is fake. I knew it. The next fight after that is Renji versus Byakuya. Now the problem isn't the fact that Renji lost. Honestly, that's kind of a given, especially when you have a top tier character like Byakuya being your opponent. You see, the actual problem is the fact that Renji thought he could win in the first place. It is here where we truly begin to understand that while Renji and Ichigo kinda trained for the same amount of time for Bankai, Ichigo basically has a 60 times XP multiplier. And Renji clearly did not understand that yet. And it is here where I think it's about time we finally talk in detail about Renji's Zanpakuto. Zabimaru. When I first saw Zabimaru, I thought it was very cool. If you use Zabimaru just right, that shit can basically be a chainsaw, and I actually thought that was pretty cool when I first saw it. And I also kind of liked the way his Bankai looked too, because it kind of reminds me of puppets from Naruto, and I was actually really interested in those. I thought those were really cool. I used to think Zabimaru was so cool, until I saw everyone else's Zanpakuto. Like, bro, it's seriously so sad that Renji is the first Shikai Bankai we see, because literally every other Zanpakuto we see after this is just so much better. Like, literally every single Bankai, except this one, is so much better than Hyo Zabimaru. Like, for Renji, we have a mid-tier attack from Naruto in puppets, to the literal domain expansion that Byakuya showed. And once Byakuya got it off, look, that nigga popped like a balloon. I'm honestly surprised that nigga lived that. Anyways, the next fight after that is Renji versus Aizen, and I mean, come on.
Really, nigga?
Renji and Aizen in the same sentence? Nah, there's no way. Anyways.
What's the name of this level? Next!
Oh man, the Arrancar arc. You know, Renji and Toshiro actually had very different experiences, because while Toshiro was out battling in the fake Karakura town, Renji was out battling in Wakomundo. The Arrancar arc seems to be that kind of arc where all of the important characters get their accolades. It's the type of arc that allows you to beefing up your battle resume. And Ichigo definitely did that for sure, bro. He beat up Dodoni, he then beat up Grimjao, then Ukiura. Then he basically pieced up Yami before he left. And what did Renji do? Nothing.
Nice. I mean, it's alright.
like.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
The one and only person he beat throughout this entire arc is a bum. He only beat up one of Grimjow's bums. You know what, folks? It's time we bring back the bum test. Gun to the back of your head. Name this character. Now, I will admit this character is not nearly as forgettable as someone like D-Roy. This character's name is Ilfort Grons, and is the brother to Ziaporo Grons, Espada number 10. But you see, here's the thing. If you are an Arrancar, but you're not an Espada, sad to say, but you're a bum. It seems to be the case that only lieutenant level characters struggle even remotely with non-Espada Arrancars. There's a faction in Hueco Mundo called Privrona Espada, who are actually former Espada Arrancars, but even they are below a few characters notice. Chad, the worst character in Bleach, managed to actually beat a Privrona Espada. Uryu, pre his gigantic power cliffing in a new arc, managed to beat a Privrona Espada. But you know who didn't beat or even fight a Privrona Espada? Renji. It seems to be the case that if you're a part of Ichigo's immediate friend group, you are trash. Like seriously, aside from that one time Uryu beat up Kurotsuchi by basically going Quincy Bankai, name a time where anyone in Ichigo's immediate friend group actually did something relevant. That's a trick question, folks. You can. And Renji fits this stereotype the most. Nigga did nothing the entire arc. And I know there'll be niggas saying, oh nah, that nigga just drew the short straw. Nigga, Rukia also drew the short straw. You know, the nigga that lost to a base level 1 hollow in the first episode. But you know what she did do? She beat an Espada number 10, our Nero, and Renji was about to get taken off the map until Mayuri came. Truly pathetic. A terrible performance. Honestly, even worse than Toshiro. Anyways, the next arc after this is the Fullbringer arc, and you know, no one cares about this arc even though I like it a lot. So let's just move on.
You need to leave.
I'm sick. I'm sick.
Hey!
Renji.
No! Stop!
How dare you? How dare you lay a hand on a woman? Sanji would never. And not just that, but you dare. You dare lay a hand on the black and beautiful? I won't stand for this. I thought you were an ally. But it's clear to me that you're not. You're an enemy. How dare you lay a hand on the third sexiest black woman in Bleach? Hold on. We got Yorichi, obviously. We got what's her face from the Arrancar. We got Haribel. We got you, and then we got nope, absolutely not. This nigga looks like she's 13, and she's obviously race faking. This doesn't count. And ooh, hold on. How dare you lay a hand on the fourth sexiest black woman in Bleach? I will not stand for this. There's a deep pit in hell for people like you. I will bring you to justice. I will make sure everyone knows who you are. You are a woman beater, and you are racist. Rukia, please get custody of the kid. Also, Renji saying that he trained to beat Aizen.
No, I can't laugh yet. I've got to hold it in.
Now, you may be sexist and a racist, but you're goddamn funny. Come on, you gotta clap that up. That shit is actually hilarious, guys. Give it up for Renji, guys. He's here all week. One of the biggest lies ever told in Bleach. Second only to Ichigo saying that he can't imagine Chad losing. Our final showing for Renji comes from the last arc of Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War. When the Bleach Germans invaded Afterlife Japan for the first time, we see a very rare moment of Byakuya being stupid as fuck. The Bleach Germans have a medallion that basically allows them to steal a nigga's Bankai. Now, with that in mind, why in God's name would Byakuya ever in his right mind suggest that they steal his Bankai first and let Renji use his own Bankai to deal with him?
Is this nigga serious?
Renji, this nigga is very strong as fuck, and I've been hearing reports he's able to steal Bankais. What? Steal Bankais? That's crazy, Byakuya. What do we do? I have an idea. And might I say, it's a very risky idea. Alright, Byakuya, lay it on me. I'm going to use my Bankai, and I'm gonna make sure he steals it. Well, what? And then once he steals it, you beat him with your Bankai. What the fuck, Byakuya? That doesn't make any sense. Nigga, isn't it better that they steals my Bankai so that the stronger person has his Bankai? No, Renji. I trust you. Not gonna lie, Byakuya, you low-key deserve this treatment. After that, we get into the second invasion of the Bleach Germans. And honestly, I cannot deny that Renji actually cooks for once in his fucking pathetic life. Mask the Masculine is actually a relevant character, as he basically beat up 2 captains before this, which automatically makes him a force to be reckoned with. And Renji comes down with his brand new Bankai, Solo Zabimaru. This Bankai is like 3,000 times better than his old one. Apparently, his own Zanpakuto has been lying to him this whole time. And I just have to ask, what the fuck did Renji do to have his own reflection of himself basically lied to him this whole time, giving him a shitty Naruto puppet? Actually, no, never mind. I do know what he did. I don't know if y'all noticed, but there's an actual filler arc where the Zanpakutos kind of rebel, and we get to see Renji face off against his own Zanpakuto, Zabimaru. And they,
Literally 2 niggas.
basically said that they rebelled against Renji because he is an idiot and is fodder right on the damn nose. And I'm sorry, I know I'm going too far. I'm sorry for raining on Renji's parade, even though I know he's currently doing something actually decent right now. I am so sorry, folks. I just seem to have a lot of darkness in my heart, you know.
Darkness sprouts within it. It grows, consumes it. Such is its nature.
Type shit. Anyways, I digress. Renji actually cooked. And apparently, I didn't watch the Bleach episode, but apparently he actually faces off against Uryu and does very well. Now this is actually really impressive because Uryu at this point is no longer the fodder-ass nigga in the Arrancar. Bro had the biggest power cliff known to man and basically became like the top 5, like unironically. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Renji actually did somewhat decent in that fight. So I will actually decide to give Renji his flowers there. Anyways, that's it for Renji's performance. The only other thing besides that is the fact that he actually managed to tap Rukia, which I guess is okay. Also, as a side note, I think niggas who really are attracted to Rukia are low-key telling on themselves. Anyways, that's the end. Psyche thought. There's still one more thing I could say about Renji. You mean to tell me that Isane and Tetsuzaimon, two niggas with absolutely zero feats to their name, became captains of the Gote 13? But you are not?
Hell no!
And don't give me that shit like, oh, it gives me more time to spend time with my wife. No, nigga, that's a lie. You're not a captain because you're not fit to be one. Simple as that. Simple and clean, if you will. Disappointing. All in all, Renji definitely sucks 100%. But I'ma be honest, I still think Toshiro's worse. Because unlike Renji, Toshiro never actually defeats someone relevant. That's crazy. But do not let that small victory for Renji fool you. This nigga has so many embarrassing losses. From his extremely embarrassing loss to Ichigo in his very first appearance, to his extremely embarrassing track record during the Arrancar arc, where he arguably has a worse performance than Yatsutora Chad. When you do worse than Chad in an arc, there's something wrong with you, buddy. Toshiro may be the biggest fraud in Bleach, but undeniably Renji is the biggest disappointment in Bleach.